This cannot be like a Hoya collection video without me finding some sort of pest. Hey, happy hearts! How are you guys doing today? I have decided that before the spring and the summer kind of hits us, I should really get into showing you guys what Hoyas I have left in my collection.
Alrighty guys, this is Editing Kylie here. So before this video even continues, or you continue to watch this video, I just want to let you know that there is a ton of background noise, and I want to apologize for that in advance. But I thought about refilming this video and starting over completely, but I've realized it's just my life, okay? Like, I cannot help it right now. My kids are little and they're going to be noisy, and so one day they're not. And I'm gonna wanna look back on these videos and listen to their little voices in the background. So this video is gonna go up regardless, and maybe if need be, I will probably refilm it again, maybe after summer, if that's what you guys want. Just let me know in the comments down below if that's what you guys want me to do. And maybe by then I'll actually have a better situation as far as being able to film while it's quiet. So until then, just enjoy. If you want to stick around to hear my Hoya collection video. But anyway, I'm gonna head to bed and probably finish editing this video, and hopefully it'll go up on Monday or Tuesday this week, if not a few days later, but hopefully this week it'll go up. So enjoy.
So I went from having, I think, around 106 Hoyas to probably about 60. I have lost a significant amount of Hoya in my collection, but the ones I do have aren't like too terrible. They're doing all right, and I wanted to share with you guys kind of where they are at right now, so that way when the spring and the summer come around and they start to actually grow for me, fingers crossed, that I'll have like a video kind of to look back on and be like, okay, this is where it was. So some of these plants you've seen in the first video, you checked that video out already. And if you notice that some of them haven't really changed since then, it's probably because they haven't. I just recently gave my Hoya a sulfur treatment, so some of them will have more spotty sort of like film on their leaves, and that's why. So let's jump right into this video so it's not like over an hour long. And I don't know how long my kids will be able to kind of keep calm. So it's just me here. So we're gonna try to do with what I can. The first Hoya I want to talk about is one of my favorites, of course. This is the classic. This is the Hoya carnosa. Now I have this one in my south-facing window. I just watered it probably like a day or two ago, and it doesn't feel like it's holding water. So I don't know if there's something that I need to do for that, but it has grown quite a bit since you guys seen it last. I'm pretty sure I showed this one in my Hoya video. But I did go ahead and chop all of like the tendrils or strands, whatever you want to call them, probably about a month or so ago, to try to get this plant to want to continue to grow for me. So like all of them have like little nub ends because I want to increase the growth. I want the Hoya to start growing again. So that's kind of what I did to get this Hoya to start throwing out some more like new vines and stuff. So this is the Hoya carnosa. The next Hoya that is in my collection would be the Hoya obovata. Now I have this one also right next to the Hoya carnosa in my bedroom, and it's doing all right. It honestly looks pretty much the same from when you guys seen it last. That was like 2 years ago that I made that video. So since about 2 years, it's been about the same. There's still some growth points that I see on this plant, but I'm not 100% sure if they're going to do anything. Yeah, I don't know. So this plant has really not changed since I have shown you guys last time. So we'll see what this year brings. Maybe some good luck, because it does look like there's a few spots here and here that look like they want to just start to, I don't know. Well, we're gonna hope for the best for this one though, because I do really like the Hoya obovata. So okay, so for the next plant here, this is the Hoya Crimson Queen. So I've had this one for quite some time. I know I've had a couple like other smaller plants of this Hoya Crimson Queen, but I no longer have them. I know I gave a couple plants to my mother-in-law, and I think one of them was this Crimson Queen plant, but I don't remember. So yeah, this one is throwing out 2 new leaves here. They look like they're going to be all white, so there's not really a whole lot going for this plant. I think I have this one set on my island, and honestly I think it's burned its leaves a couple times when I was using my Ninja Foodie and I would release the steam. I think it kind of burned a lot of this front portion here that you see, so I'm not really sure. Every time I do pull out my Ninja Foodie now, I make sure to move this plant, but yeah, it's not grown super significantly since we've had it at the trailer when I was living at the trailer, and I remember filming the video. So yeah, I there's not much to show on this one. This one's just a new one that you guys didn't see in that video. I showed you guys some of my smaller ones, so I think. I can't remember. Okay, so now I have a very sad Hoya Crimson Princess. This one was also one of my favorites, so I'm really mad at myself for letting it get the way that it is currently. This is her. She is mainly a dead plant, but I could chop her and try to propagate her. I should, because I'm gonna regret it that I don't. But I don't know. I feel as if she's a little too far gone for me to even try. So yeah, like the leaves are like super flimsy. They don't have any moisture whatsoever in them, practically. So yeah, Hoya Crimson Princess is probably dying on me, so you may never see this one again. We'll see. Maybe I can chop and prop and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, next one is the Hoya Bella, and this one I've had in this pot since moving here, so it's probably been at least a year or so. In certain strands doesn't hold water because she was basically dried out many times, but she's still looking very pretty and luscious and full. There's a couple peduncles on her. There's one like right back here. I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see that because I am using the back camera, so I really can't see what you guys see. There's a couple peduncles on this Bella, and she does have some new growth spots like right up there at the front. So I think that's a good sign that she's still doing okay. This is my Hoya vitellinoides. I'm kind of going around my house in a way so that way I can make sure that I get every single one of my Hoyas, so they're not going to be in the same list or format that I had them in from the very first video, so sorry they're kind of all over the place this time. But yeah, Hoya vitellinoides. I am not sure. Honestly, I think this one's just trying to survive. I really need to take this pot and switch her into something that's going to hold moisture better. It is in a plastic pot, but the plastic pot is like for an orchid. So it's got all of the slats on the sides of it, and it ends up drying out a lot faster than I'd like. So that's kind of why I put this plant into this little mug in hopes that that moisture kind of stays a little longer. But what I ideally need to do is just repot this plant. But this one's overall doing really good. It hasn't grown a whole lot since moving here. I feel like it has just a little bit, enough for me to be like, yeah, it's still alive. But truthfully, I think it got to a point where it was drying out too often, and that's why it threw out this massive peduncle here. And the peduncle actually did bloom for me a couple times already, but I'm not getting any new growth from this plant because it's constantly trying to flower for me. So it makes me think that it's just on its way out if it's doing that, but I don't want to chop it back until I really see some noticeable signs that it's dying. And I also have another peduncle over here, and I can tell that it was trying to flower, but then it just busted those flowers or the little buds off of it. And these flowers, when this vitellinoides flowers, they are so sticky. Like, I'm not kidding you, everything that sap touches sticks everywhere. And when the flowers actually die off and I have to clean up the dead flowers on the ground, they stick everywhere. So I've got plans for this one in the future, so stay tuned. Okay, so for the next one, this one is my big baby. I actually incorporated another plant into this one, so that way I had one less plant to take care of. So it was actually two plants combined, and I think they're two different Hoya pubicalyx. So I really think when this one does bloom, I'll probably only get blooms from like one of the plants rather than both of the plants at the same time. But it would be really cool to have both Hoyas that are in this thing blooming at the exact same time, so you'd have like two different Hoya blooms. Because in the front here, I have the Hoya pubicalyx purple Hawaiian punch, I think. So this one has like these really deep purple leaves, and then the one in the back, I don't remember if it ever bloomed for me, and if it did, I don't remember them being that dark. So I'm thinking I would have like the purple one and maybe like a pink would be my guess. I don't remember. But with that being said, yeah, so I did put the purple Hawaiian one right in the front. And honestly, pubicalyx is it's all the same type of plant. They're just one's a pink or one's a purple, and so like to me it doesn't matter. But in the back here, I'm thinking I knocked some of these leaves so they just turned yellow, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this plant at all. In the back here though, these are like brand new splashy leaves, and they're so pretty. And I got a couple more, like two here and two way in there, which I don't know if you're gonna be able to see. It's kind of hard to see them, but yeah, like I think where it's sitting now, this one's really happy. So this one looks a lot better than it did back then. I think this one's probably one of the plants that, you know, it looks better than it did after all of the time that it spent being neglected. So, and overall, I just think this one is actually still doing pretty good for me being so neglectful. This is my Hoya very sad compacta. I don't know what it is about compactas and me, but we don't seem to get along. Yeah, so this is probably my second Hoya compacta, second or third, just of the classic, like all green variety that I've killed. I have also killed my variegated compacta, So you will not see that one in this video. And I've also killed my Hoya compacta Manaloa, which was really, really disappointing because I loved that plant. So yeah, me and compactas are not compatible, but I'm hoping I'll try again in the future and see where it goes, because I did water this one and it still looks like extremely thirsty, like it never got watered to begin with. So yeah, Hoya compacta. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start on my Hoya propagation box that has been a propagation box since I moved here. Like, I'm not even kidding. These Hoya here have been in this box for quite some time. I just watered a lot of them, so the humidity in this box is really good. So I'm really hoping that helps me out here. We'll see. The first one I'm going to share with you guys is this Hoya Michelle. So she is very, very sun stressed, and I don't really know if she's turning yellow. There is like a small, tiny little growth point there at the top. So I'm hoping that this is just not dying on me, and that it's just really sun stressed. But yeah, it's still in one of these little cups. I can see good green roots in here, so that's good. So we'll see. The next one, I believe, is, I think somebody told me that this was like the cinnamon folia or something like that. I want to say it's the Fidgii longleaf. I could be wrong. It just seems to be quite long, so I'm not really sure. And this one is still two little leaves from back when I had filmed this the first time. So it really hasn't done a whole lot, and it actually looks like it is diseased in a way. It's got like water rot on the leaves, it looks like. I don't really know if you guys are gonna be able to see that very well, but yeah, this one, as you can tell, like I think it started to do good, but because I failed to take care of my plants and I neglected them all the time, I think that's kind of my issue here. So this is my Hoya polish spot. So I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that as well. But I had to chop this one down and repot it or reroot it. I think a lot of my Hoyas at one point were like really bad root rot. I don't really know. She seems to be holding water quite well, so that's good. So we'll see. Maybe Hoya polish spot will start to thrive for me this summer. We'll see. The next one that I'm going to share with you guys is this Hoya Irina. She has very terrible like damage to the leaves, and that's been like that since I first got her. It's probably why I'm sure I had flat mites in my collection, but I did spray all of my plants with the sulfur treatment, and I should probably do that again here shortly. But yeah, so I think I got this leaf right here from this plant since rerooting it, and overall it's seeming to do a lot better than it was. So I don't see any new growth points, so we'll see. Maybe this summer she'll start to pop off for me. Well, who knows? Who knows? I won't be mad if she does. Okay, and so the next plant here is the Hoya mathilde, and I don't know if you guys can see that one right up here, this small little two-leaf area. That is new growth, so I'm really hoping that this plant is looking up, because it is so cute. It's got like such like small-ish, like bunch of thumbprint size leaves, and this one is really splashy even without the sulfur treatment. So I'm really hoping that this one starts to do good for me, and I don't know, I definitely don't want to lose this one. This one's cute. So Hoya mathilde. Okay, and so in this pot here I have two plants. I have the like Hoya, oh wait a minute, what in the world? Okay, so I don't understand how this one's still living. This is like the Wayetii, but the inner variegated version. I don't know. This one was supposed to be in here trying to root. I don't know why I put it together, but this is the Hoya Moonshadow. This one, you guys, I don't even know. Like, I think it's beautiful. I think these two leaves are new up at the front from when I showed this one last time. Oh, I found scale. The last time I found a Hoya, last time I filmed this video, I actually found snails. So, yeah, cool. I have scale. Yeah, so scale, cool, great. I'm gonna have to set this one aside and kind of check all of the other plants, I guess. I don't know. The next Hoya here is Hoya Penny's Treat. Now this one has a new growth point. I think when I showed this one last time, it actually had 3 leaves. So nothing really changed here, but it does have a new tiny little growth point with a new leaf forming. So I'm really excited to see if this one grows for me and if it does anything. We'll see. Okay, so this is my Hoya Acuta elbow marginata. This one, honestly, I'm pretty sure is about the same from when you guys seen it last. Maybe this is a new leaf, I'm not sure. All of my plants literally have grown so slow because of how neglectful I've been. I'm probably gonna say that 50 times in this video. But this one did try to bloom for me. I don't remember it blooming. It may have, but I do know that a lot of the blooms burst in here and just kind of go everywhere because I don't water it in time. So maybe it was a 2-leafer and now it is 4. I don't know. Okay, and then this is my Hoya fuensis. So this one is getting a lot of sun and I'm not sure if it's the biggest fan of it. It looks like it's trying to bloom because like there's little tiny peduncles forming right at the base and they're going downwards. So I don't know if this one is truly happy. This one honestly could use an up pot. A lot of my Hoyas could use an up pot and potting them into something bigger that would give them more space to grow. And I think that's probably my issue with a lot of my Hoyas is that I need to up pot them. I need to get them in bigger pots. So yeah, that might be something that you guys can look forward to for the summer because I do plan on trying to repot a lot of my plants. Okay, so this is my Hoya Thomsonii, or Thomsonii, however you want to say it. Now, I remember this one being like pretty well set when I showed it in that video, but then I neglectfully stopped watering it and it stopped growing. But now, if you can tell, some of these leaves are pretty big. Like this one right here is super massive and it's super pretty. This one's got, I think, roots coming out of the bottom. I can't really tell. So this one's going to be needing an up pot soon and a trellis because I would really like to trellis this one. This one is looking so fun. This one also is kind of splashy, but you can't really tell because of the sulfur treatment that's still on the leaves. But I am seeing that it would be a good idea for me to do another sulfur treatment. There's some like little black spots here and there that look like damage from like something eating at it. So that will be something that I'm going to be doing in the near future. But yeah, I'm really happy that this one is doing pretty well for me still. And I didn't even notice until literally just now at how big these leaves right here have gotten because I just remember them being about this size. So yeah, this one's doing pretty good. And Kinsey's kind of getting closer to me, so if I keep looking down and checking on what she's trying to grab at, it's really been something to try to film a video with two little ones running around all the time. Here is my Hoya Bella Louis Boy. This is the inner variegated Hoya Bella, and what I really need to do is chop this one down again and try to reroot every single node, because there's quite a few of these little leaves here that are so thin because I let them dry out for so long that it just would probably benefit greatly and immensely if I just redid this whole entire plant again. But this one is still doing pretty good. I believe I actually killed off my other Hoya, the variegated one that has the outer variegation, because I just couldn't keep up, and it was small and it wouldn't grow for me very well. And so this one I am having a little bit more luck, but I was neglectful. So I want to get this one out of the way before I knock these little blooms off, because the last thing I want is to ruin it from blooming. This is my Hoya Parasitica elbow marginata, and I don't know what I did, but like the old leaves are starting to die off. They're yellowing. I don't know if you guys can see that right here. I'm trying to be really gentle here, but that one is yellowing off, so I'll be pulling that one soon. I'm gonna let it kind of die off on its own a little bit to kind of keep an eye on really what is going on with this plant. So this one is fun. It is working on some blooms here, so hopefully we'll get some blooms from this one that'll actually come into fruition. I will keep you guys updated on my Instagram. I know I haven't been posting on Instagram, but if I do get this one to bloom, I'll make sure to take pictures of it and post it. So if you look in the description box below, I'll have all my links to everything down there. So my Instagram will be included. So this was my Hoya Ciliata elbow marginata, which was a very beautiful plant when it was in my care to begin with, and I do need to up pot this and repot it into something bigger. I can see the roots. I can tell that the roots are somewhat healthy yet. But this one is my funky Hoya. Like it's supposed to be an elbow. It's not. It's all green now. And the leaves are just really weird and funky, but I like it. I think it has some character to it, and like, I don't know, it's really cool. So this one is still in my collection, just doesn't look the same at all from what it used to. So here's another one that I am trying really hard not to knock the blooms off of. This is my Hoya EPC-301 black leaf. Now I remember this only being a 2-leaf plant, and I cut it so that I could have 2 plants of this one. And since then I have gotten quite a few 2 new leaves at least, and this one looks like it's still fairly baby leaf and that it's still trying to harden off yet, but this one could also use an up pot and probably something a little bit bigger, but it is trying to bloom for me, so I definitely don't want to be messing with it right now. But yeah, so this one's really cool because it sun stresses really nicely, and the edges here turn like a dark color, and right now what you're seeing is like a purpley color. So I do really like this plant. I'm hoping you guys can see these because I can't see what I'm doing here. I need a new phone. That's a whole story in itself. I tried to film my last video for you guys with a microphone, and it was not okay. So this is my Hoya Patricia. I remember this being a 2-leafer when I showed this. It has 1 more leaf. That's about it. And it hasn't done anything since. I've had this one for 4 years. I got it in 2020. So yeah, it's still 2 leaves, and I might just chop this portion off because it's not trying to throw any leaves out. So we'll see if I can't get it to start to at least try to put some leaves out. Maybe I need to move its spot. Maybe it's just getting too much sun and it doesn't like that because it is a lot lighter than it should be. But yeah, so Hoya Patricia has one more leaf since I've had it, and it's been a plant with me through many houses, and just, yeah. I don't understand. Oh, it does have like a tiny little growth nubbit right there in the corner. You guys probably can't see it, but it does look like it's trying. I don't know. I believe this is my Hoya parasitica heartleaf splash. I don't really know though, and it's still just a 2-leafer. Yeah, nothing special about this one here. It's still the same as it was. I just had to reroot it at one point, so we'll see. Okay, so this is my Hoya Scorchini. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. This one's really pretty when it gets a lot of sun because the veination of this plant has like red veins, and it's super pretty, but it doesn't seem to be getting a ton of sun anymore, and it seems to be doing somewhat okay. And I thought for sure I was going to lose this plant from the get-go, but it's still living and it's still doing really well. So this one's pretty cool. This one came from Indonesia actually, so yeah. So this is my Hoya Hanhei yellow pink. And this one has some very beautiful sun stressing. Like, I can't even get over how beautiful the sun stressing is on this one. I've had this one since 2020 as well. So this one's about 4 years old. It needs to be up potted. I don't know if you guys can see the roots there. But it really hasn't looked a whole lot different than what you guys probably seen in the last video. I need to get that piece of wood out of there, but I like that it's telling me what this plant is. Yeah, so this one's going to be needing an up pot this summer as long as the roots are healthy and I don't rip a ton of them up and stress this plant out too much. But yeah, so I really like this one. This one's fun. It just doesn't look like it's living. Alrighty, so I'm just a little bit closer and I'm hoping that helps a little bit. So the next one that I want to share with you guys is my Hoya Cartesii. So this is her in all her glory. I remember showing her on my first video and she was probably like right around here. So she's woo! So like right about here. So she is growing really well for me. She loves the spot that she's in. So as you can see, I have such long tendrils from her. I just recently chopped like a ton of her like dead ends, you call them. So like in this case, it would be like this, it would be like that much up until that leaf. But because this end wasn't really dead, I thought I'm going to just leave that one. But for the rest of the leaves here, I did go ahead and chop a lot of them back in hopes that I start getting more growth from the top, because that's kind of what Hoya do, is they shoot out another tendril from another spot. But yeah, so like here, I have a green edge. I have a green edge here, so I'm hoping that we'll get something from that. I find it a little funky that she's got such like long aerial roots along her. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know. I'm like, I wonder if it's just high humidity, but I really don't have high humidity in this house, so I'm not really sure where this plant is getting that. But yeah, Hoya Cartesii is such a beauty, and I am very happy that she's still doing good for me. Another one that is sort of looking up, like she went through a spurt of not growing very well for me. So this is my Hoya retusa, and this is the one where, like, I'm not really sure how to explain it besides, like, here in this case you can see where it's all coming out of like one little notch here, and then it would space itself out and do another little cluster of leaves. They're kind of like stick leaves. I love this plant, and I'm really mad that I let it dry out as often as I did, because now I'm left with just this little portion here and there's not much at the top. I ended up having to pull out so many little dead, yeah. So I'm really hoping that this one is going to do pretty well for me from now on. This one is living in a bathroom, kind of like offset of a south-facing window, so it's getting humidity from being next to water, but also just enough light that hopefully it stays happy for me. So my Hoya retusa. So here is the next Hoya, and I'll be honest, I cannot remember for the life of me what the name of this Hoya is. But this one had scale at one point, and I did try to treat it, and I haven't seen any more scale come back. So this one is doing somewhat okay. I want to say it's like quinquenervia, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll have it on the screen here. But yeah, so this one is doing all right. You can see the little white specks from the sulfur treatment. This one was doing pretty good, and I cut the top off in hopes that she would shoot off another node, and she hasn't yet. So we'll see what this spring and summer looks like, because I'm hoping that she'll still continue to thrive for me. It has grown since you guys seen it last, so I'm really hoping that it just continues to grow and do well. This is my Hoya linearas. I'll be honest, you guys, she's looked better. She's not as full as she used to be, and she's definitely not as happy as she used to be. So I don't really know what is going on with her, why she's unhappy, but yeah, I'm really sad that she looks as sad as she does, because this one is definitely an absolute beauty, and I just wish I could make her happy like she was when she was living in the trailer. She was at a west-facing window in the trailer, and I do not have a west-facing window in this house, so I can't really give her back what she had. This is my Hoya AH74. She's doing all right. She doesn't always look like a taco anymore, so that's good. I ended up repotting or rerooting this plant, and since then she's just shot off like a ton of new leaves, and these are really cool because it's like almost like it has something wrong with it, but it's not. That's just how the leaves are. And honestly, I just really like this plant, and I wish it would give me some more of the leaves that you guys see with the very first one, but it hasn't. So I don't know if I need to chop it back again or what the whole deal with it is. So we'll see. But I'm going to continue to hope that this one does good for me. Next one is my Hoya No ID. And this one, my husband got me for my Christmas present in, I think, 2021. I think so. This one's about 2 years old. Honestly, I wish it had more growth than it does. I should really just chop it and try to propagate, at least this portion, and see where that goes, because every once in a while this one will just yellow off a leaf and just kill it. And so, like, I don't think I even have the original 2 leaves that it started with, but I mean, overall it has some really beautiful leaves in here. So this one is definitely a pretty one. and it's gotta be one of my favorites. Like the half moon shimmery like leaf is so pretty. So this is a Hoya pubicalyx pink splash. This one, I know that it turns like this nice pinky color when it gets sun stressed. That's just what it was sold to me as, is like a pink splash. But this one, it gets some very beautiful splashy leaves. This one has a hard time holding water and moisture. So yeah, and this is probably going to be my last Hoya that I'm going to share with you guys until I get a moment where it's quiet, because yeah, kid life, you know. So yeah, I really like this plant, and I hope it continues to do well for me. I can already see it's kind of declining, so I don't really know what's going on, if it's not holding enough water or if the roots are rotten or what the issue is, but I don't want to lose this one. It is so splashy and so pretty. So yeah, so I think I got the youngest one down for a nap. We'll see. She doesn't normally take a nap in her bassinet, but I got rid of the swing, or I didn't get rid of it. I put it downstairs, so I'm hoping that she stays kind of calm. And then the other one is actually on her tablet right now, so it should be quiet, at least for the rest of this video, fingers crossed. So let's start this again. This is my Hoya macrophylla, or I don't know, is it? They changed the name on it, and I know it, I just can't think of it. But this one right here, I ended up purchasing this after that video was filmed, I believe. So this is the alba marginata, the one where the outer portion is variegated. This was actually one of the plants that I was obsessed with, and it was actually one of my first Hoya that I got. And this is the plant that got me hooked on Hoya. So I wanted another one in my collection, so I did end up purchasing this one. And this one has a little growth nubbit right at the very top. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that. But yeah, so there's a little growth spot there, and I'm hoping that this one continues to grow well for me. This one holds water very well, so I think that it's going to do well. I think a lot of my Hoyas are in a position where they don't hold water, and that's what my issue is. Being underwater, I need a soil mixture that's going to hold water a little bit better than what I have them in. But when I first started my Hoya collection, I was actually a chronic overwaterer, so it helped me in that sense. But since I've been a chronic underwater, this is definitely going to be a must when I start switching my Hoyas over into bigger pots. And so the next one that I have here is the Hoya finlaysonii ripple leaf, and the mama plant that I have, this one and this leaf that goes with it, is not holding water. As you can see, it's like paper thin, but the plant that's alongside it is holding water and is doing really well. There's actually hair, hold on. There is actually a new growth spot there up at the top. So it is doing really well, at least that part of the plant is, and it's got some splash on it, so that's fun. So I can't wait to see what this one continues to look like as it grows. The next one is the Hoya vitellina, and this one I remember being just a 2-leafer, and possibly maybe this one when I showed you guys the last time. And since then I have gotten at least one more leaf out of it, and I have a growth point here and a growth point here, and then of course this little why do I always blank on this, like a tendril growth spurt, whatever you want to call that. So this one is doing pretty well for me, and I'm really happy with how this one is growing. This one's really cool because when it gets enough sun, it will darken around the edges, and it just overall looks like a really pretty plant. So I'm hoping that this one does good for me from now on, and hopefully no more issues. I do need to pot it into something a little bit bigger, but until then, it's doing all right, and I'm okay with that. So I'll take that over not doing good at all. This is my Hoya Carrii. This was the reverse variegated one, and it's died back. I lost some of the older leaves, and so now I only have these 3, and it almost looks like it has a fungal issue. She's crying now. I'll get her in just a second. But as you can see on that leaf right there, it almost looks like it's getting some fungal sort of like bacteria growth. I don't know. I think this terracotta pot that I got off of Amazon is just really bad, because every single plant that I have put in this type of pot, literally the same ones from Amazon, every single one of them have just done like crap for me. So I don't know what it is about this certain terracotta, but it does not like me, and I have pretty bad luck with it. But I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that. There is like some yuckiness going on the bottom of that leaf, kind of like I don't know what you want to call that. It's kind of like bacteria almost, like bleh, bleh. And then I do have the other Carrii that is the outer variegated version, and this one is doing all right. Obviously these ones are slow growing, but I didn't realize how slow of growers they are, because I've literally only gotten that small little leaf since this last video that I made of all my Hoya. So yeah, that one is doing all right. Nothing to complain about here. This one seems to be sort of happy. I just don't see a new growth spurt or anything popping up, so it's really just kind of there, and that's about it. The next one is my Hoya Gray Ghost. Now this one you guys seen in my Hoya favorites video, so I don't really need to go into detail too much about why this one is my favorite, but yeah, that is the update on this one. It still has that little leaf there. It hasn't been knocked off yet, and I'm praying that that one grows in and looks super splashy and is very pretty, because I really need some good luck with this one. This one was not a cheap plant when I bought it. Yeah, and since I had to go through all that I've gone through with it, I definitely feel like this one just needs to grow for me now, because I deserve it, you know? But Hoya Gray Ghost. This one is also from Russia, if I didn't mention that the first time I made a video. The next plant is Hoya Chelsea, and she's not doing the best. I don't really know, you guys. This is, I think, the most frustrating part about like having that break and then trying to come back. It's just like, it seems like no matter what I do, it's not good. I could water it on time and it's not good, and then I could let it sit and it doesn't yellow any leaves, and it seems to be doing better, and then all of a sudden you water it and it's not good. So I really think this one's root rot again, and I don't know if I'm gonna have the patience to completely start every single node again from scratch like I did the very first time. So I think if this one starts to croak on me and die off, oh wait, as I'm saying that, I just noticed a brand new leaf. Okay, hold on. But if this one decides to die on me, I think I would just cut like maybe 4 or 5 from this plant, and then just grow only a few little starting spots from it, because yes, I want a full plant and I want a full like lovely looking basket, but I probably have like at least 15 nodes in here, and that's probably my issue. But I don't think I would want to start as many. I would just want like the very few that I do choose to like grow big, that makes sense. But yeah, so I did, as I'm talking about it, notice this tiny new leaf here. And I still didn't repot it from when I showed the last time. There's still roots coming up at the bottom, but yeah, like, so maybe it's just a few strands of this thing that doesn't want to live on me and just wants to die. But seeing that new leaf coming in makes me really excited, because I really thought this one was just going downhill and there wasn't going to be any saving it besides chopping. So that's good. That's good news. Next plant. This is my Hoya Brighton. This is a Susan cross. I don't remember what the cross is, but yeah, I really like this one. I think this one was one of my favorites at one point. I do have 3 leaves down here, which I think is what I had when I made the video, and then since then I've gotten that massive one right there, and then I have gotten this one as well. So overall, I think that this one is doing pretty well for me. If you can't tell right there, let me try to do that. There is a new growth point on this plant, so that's good news, and I'm hoping that I don't lose that growth point and it just continues to be happy for me. So this one is probably going to be one that I need to up pot soon as well. I don't see many roots, so maybe this one likes to be root bound, but I don't know. I just know that this one is doing really well for me and I am happy about it. Hoya Ciliata. So this one, I remember only being like a very small plant, and since then it has started to grow really nicely for me. I also need to up pot this and just give it a better home, because it's still been in this same little like dessert container since I've filmed the last one. So hopefully this one does a little better for me this year once I kind of give it the life that it deserves. So until then, this is her. She's beautiful and she's cute. Like, she's just kind of like a little bunched up ball of leaves, and I think it's cute. This is my Hoya rotundiflora, and I've had this one for quite some time. I remember during my Hoya repot video, I think it was, or something, I did a giveaway for a portion of my rotundiflora. So whoever ended up getting that, I can't remember her name. I'm curious to know how yours is doing now. So this is mine. This is the mama plant, and she seems to be doing pretty good. She look at her. She's just so cute. This is like the platypus tail plant, because all of these like tiny little leaves here are like little platypus tails. So I do really like this one, and I'm glad that it is doing really well for me. I do need to probably up pot it at some point, and I want to give it a trellis as well, just to see it kind of up like this. I think that would be really cute. I don't know, just because she's looking really full, and I do really like that it's kind of going down and cascading, but I think that she would overall be a little bit better if she was trellised up and looking all cute in like a little circle trellis or something. I don't know, just a thought, and maybe I'll do that this summer, so we'll see. Okay, so the next plant here is my Hoya mini parensis, or mini parensis. She's not looking so hot. She's not looking too good. I don't really know. I just know that I've let her get dry way too many times, to the point where like she just started to yellow off and look like she was dying. So that is her. She's still doing all right. She could be better, but she's still a little plant yet, and I feel really bad that majority of my Hoyas have not really grown significantly since I made my first one, because I'll be honest, I was pretty neglectful with my plants all of last year, and I am suffering the consequences from that. So Hoya maniparensis. The next one is my Hoya Calistophylla, and I was on the struggle bus with this one for the longest time, and I really thought I was going to lose the only Calistophylla I had, and I thought I was going to have to be repurchasing it. This one is so beautiful. The only thing I feel bad for her right now is that she's just covered in the sulfur still from the treatments, and so it's kind of hard to see what her leaves truly look like, but she does kind of like give me like almost like a dragon vibe, like the dark veination within the like lime green leaf just looks so pretty. And yeah, so she did try to bloom for me. She spent those blooms, so I didn't actually get to see them. Actually, no, I did get to see them. Just within this past years though, she blew them. So I remember seeing them with my bunny, Bean, when I took the picture of that, and it was like this full ball of blooms. So it's really, really pretty when she does bloom. So I have a picture of that on my Instagram if you guys wanted to check that out. But yeah, so Hoya Calistophylla is looking all right. She's still like small, and she's got only 4 leaves, but she's alive, and that's what matters. So this one is a little bit more of a good news plant, because when I filmed this video, she was only 2 leaves, and now she is this beautiful, like almost decent plant. We're getting somewhere. That's what matters, is we're getting somewhere with this one. This is my Hoya Golden Eye. So like I said, she was 2 leaves beforehand, and now she has this beautiful leaf here. This one that had some trouble, I think, or got knocked or something, but still survived. I'm not really sure. But this one, and then this brand new leaf here. My Hoya Golden Eye looks so pretty. Oh, I love it. So that is those ones, and I will be right back. I'm gonna go check on Kinsey and see if I can't get her to fall asleep for me, because she has not slept since 8 o'clock this morning, and it is now almost 4. So yeah, I don't know. I'm wanting to get this video done, because I know I'm not gonna have time tomorrow to do it, but I also don't want the quality to be completely shot that nobody just wants to watch the video. So yeah, I will be right back. Okay, so now we are on trial number 3. Kinsey did not sleep for me at all, so she's down here on the floor, and you might hear her from time to time talking away, but I need to get this video filmed, because honestly, I don't think I'm gonna have time later today. So let's get this going. So the next plant that I want to share with you guys is the Hoya villosa or globulosa, however you want to call it. This one has been doing really, really good for me. I have tried to keep my eye on it at all times, because personally this one was one of my favorites, and I definitely wanted to make sure that this one got taken care of when it was thirsty. So if you've never seen a globulosa in person, the leaves on this are just so stinking beautiful. She's doing great for me. She's probably given me quite a few different leaves since you guys seen her in the last Hoya collection video. And there is a couple new growth spots up here, but I don't think these ones are going to give me leaves, just because they're kind of yellowing off. So I don't know if I waited too long to water her or what the deal was, but this one is definitely one of my favorites. I tried not to include her in my favorites video just recently, because I didn't want to be redundant. Like, I didn't want to be saying the same few plants over and over again. So this one was definitely one that I tried to keep my eye on at all times. But Hoya globulosa or villosa, however you want to say it. This is the next plant here, and this one desperately needs a repot. This one obviously has outgrown its little tiny, I'm not kidding you, tiny little pot that I've had it in for quite some time now, and she's just looking so beautiful. I definitely want to rearrange her little tendrils here. She's got a little peduncle right there. I don't know if you guys are being able to see that. And then she also has a peduncle hidden on the back side over here. So she is doing wonderful. She has bloomed for me already, and just overall one of my favorites. I don't know, something about the little crunchy leaves is my favorite, because the villosa or globulosa also has like little wiggly leaves in there, and I just am obsessed. So Hoya induensis, I don't think I said that at the beginning, but this is the induensis here, and I've taken so many cuttings from this plant, and it's just continued to thrive for me and just be happy. But it is definitely telling me that it needs a repot very soon, because it's getting thirsty more often than I can like catch it. So yeah. The next one is Hoya finlaysonii, and this is not the ripple leaf. This is just the plain finlaysonii. I'm not sure how well this one is going to do for me, because honestly, it has truly been a struggle with this plant. Like, I have been nothing but like, I don't know. I've tried to reroot it. I think this is one that I rooted in perlite a long time ago, then had to reroot it. And then it finally got good roots, and then I screwed it all up by being super bad at taking care of my plants. So Hoya finlaysonii is not doing the best, and the leaves are really soft. So I watered them like 2 days ago, so they shouldn't be soft anymore, and they are. So yeah, I don't know. This is my Hoya obscura. This one is doing really good for me. She's got this is like a little peduncle here, but then she's got like a tiny little leaf just beyond that peduncle right there. And looks like she's going to start growing again for me, giving off some more leaves. Oh my gosh, there's another one. See, just behind that one. I didn't even see that. I'm looking up here, but there's one right here as well. So yeah, this one is really cool, and it looks really beautiful sun-stressed, so it's definitely one of my favorites. It's kind of like a sunrise, just bigger. Like, the leaves are much bigger, so I definitely like this one a lot, and I'm glad that it's still living in my collection and being happy. So, oh, and if you did watch my first Hoya situation and you remember that like the leaf damage right at the center, that is still there on these plants, of course, but as you can tell, I must have bit whatever it was in the butt, because these newer leaves here don't have that same issue. So yeah, just another look at those leaves here. She is doing beautiful. I love it. This is my Hoya fungii, or fungii, however you want to say it. This one, I had it too at one point, and I must have killed the other one because I don't even know where that one is. But this one is definitely a lot lighter than it should be, because I remember the other one was a bit darker, and then this one just had too much light, I think. But this one is still doing so good. The leaves are super thick and juicy, and just overall a very happy plant, and I am just happy that it is happy as well. Hi, cutie. But yeah, Hoya fungii. All right, and then this is my Hoya motossekii, or motoseki, however you guys pronounce it. I don't know what's right or what's wrong. So this one also has a nice new leaf coming in. I hope it's not dying off. It's kind of like a yellow tone, so it's very possible it could be an older leaf that just never came through. Like I said, I was a very terrible plant mom for the longest time, and it only started recently, just, you know, getting into my plants again and actually staring at them and seeing the newer leaves coming through. So yeah, this one is fun. When I first got it, it had super fuzzy leaves. So like if you can tell on this one here, just the leaves are pretty fuzzy. This is a good plant to pet. But then as they got older, like this one right here isn't as fuzzy. So I don't really know what's going on. Could just be as it gets older and matures, the fuzziness goes away. I don't know, but this one's definitely a good one, and I think it was one of my favorites for a long time. So, and I'm also pretty sure that this one looks more full than it did when I showed you guys the last time, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. This is my Kamingana, which I'm pretty sure when I shared it with you, it was like right here, and it's grown quite a bit since. I'm actually shocked that it's still alive because the Hoya Kamingana is actually quite thin leaves. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell just right here that the leaves are so thin and very like soft that I honestly don't even know how I was able to keep this one alive for as long as I did, because I feel like some of the other ones that I've had are thicker, so they would have held more water and didn't need water as often, but I watered them all around the same time. Like, I would spend one day watering all my plants. So how this one is still alive, I don't know, but I'm very glad that it is. And I remember saying how I didn't want to chop her to propagate for like more strands, so she's still just a one strand, but I think this summer I am going to take that risk and go ahead and start chopping her to get more, because clearly she's not doing it on her own. She's very happy just sending out this one long runner, so we'll see. But that is something to look forward to for this year. So yeah, I'm glad that this one is still in my collection. So another plant that's in my collection that I am so surprised that it's living is the Hoya Sunrise, okay? Do you guys remember my Hoya Sunrise? Because she was beautiful, and then I chopped her up and she was still beautiful and did so well, and then all of a sudden I don't even know. Like, I don't know if she had root rot. I don't really know. I think it was root rot. I ended up putting her in this pot, and she's doing all right. She's doing better than she was, but she's still such a slow grower when like a traumatic event happens, and that was traumatic for her because this is where she's at. This was this plant I actually got in 2020 as well. So I've had her for about 4 years, and we've been through some things. And I'm just glad that she's still here and is not dead yet. It just makes me happy that this one is still here. So I'm hoping that this summer I can get something a little nicer out of her. And we'll see. She definitely needs a repot because look at those roots. And yes, I know some of them are like ripped apart. The little thing she was sitting on, the roots stuck to it, so when I pulled her off, they ripped the roots along with it. So I know the roots look like crap, but she desperately needs a pot and repot. So this will be on my list for the summer. The next one on my list here is still in the same cloche and still in the same little pot thing that she was in prior to me or filming my first video. So this is my Hoya Serpens, and my Hoya Serpens is doing all right. There's a couple dead leaves in here that I am not able to pull off at the moment, so you're just gonna have to see the yellow leaf there. But overall, this plant is doing really well. Yeah, nothing really to complain about here. I'll give a little close-up for you. She is doing all right, so I'm not going to get mad at her for anything. She's very temperamental. This Hoya should probably not be where she is on that shelf behind me. I think I should probably put her over here on my half a wall because I think it gets a little chilly with the door being right there because I let my dog in and out every day, and right now we have snow on the ground. So I'm pretty sure she's just really irritated with the cold, and I think that being over here might help her a little bit. So we'll see. I'm gonna try that out, and I'll keep you guys updated with the Hoya serpents. Alrighty, so this is my Hoya Australis elbow marginata, and this one is doing all right. I don't know. This one has always kind of like flustered me a little bit because like it almost seems like she's dying and is never happy, and then every once in a while she'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm happy again, and then just throw me out like a bunch of new leaves. And I don't understand like care wise whether or not like she's thirsty or not. Like I cannot tell. I watered her just the other day, and she seems like she's thick, but she also seems thirsty. So like I really don't know what I'm doing wrong here. But yeah, so she's got two growth points here that look like somebody's flipping you off, and then another one up here, and like they've been like that for a while. So I don't really know what she's trying to do here, but I would really like to see some more growth from her, and hopefully that is going to be this summer. So for all of you guys who have seen my Lois Andrewsiana, you guys remember her has this one massive big old leaf here, which is like almost the size of my hand. No joke. She did put out this big leaf here. It's not as big as her original leaf, but let me tell you, I think she was dealing with some mites back then when she was putting this one out, because you can kind of see it right on the leaf itself there that there's some damage. And then if you look at the back side of this leaf, you can also see the damage. So that was, I mean, this leaf came out before I did the sulfur treatment. So I'm thinking the sulfur treatments help, but I won't be sure. She also put out that little side piece here, and I'm hoping we'll get another new leaf this year, and maybe it'll be about the same size as this one, because this one is just gorgeous. And then I also will need to up pot her. I don't see any roots. Well, I do see one, but I feel like she just deserves a bigger pot for the size of her leaf. I mean, come on. Her leaf is bigger than the pot that she's in. So this is my Hoya Crinkle 8. Now, my Hoya Crinkle 8, I'm not kidding you, has gone through like weird changes and everything. She was yellow for a long time, and now she's green again. So I don't really know. I think the sun was kind of getting to her and she was being washed out. I might have to find her a new spot that makes her a little happier. I don't know. But yeah, this is my... Sorry, I'm checking all of everything. Like I want to make sure there's no pests on these that I can see with my naked eye. But yeah, so Hoya Crinkle 8 was always one of my favorites. And then it went downhill, and then I just was afraid that I would lose it. And at one point, it was one of my favorite plants. So like the fact that I at one point didn't care whether or not it was going to die or whether it was going to live makes me really sad. Like that's how sad I was, because this plant is so cute. Why would I let it die? I don't know. It tried to bloom for me as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I don't know if I ever got an actual bloom from her. I just know that she spent most of her blooms. But yeah, so this one, I think I'm going to move the spot that she's in to somewhere where she gets enough light to grow, but not enough light to wash her out, because I think she looks a lot better when she's more green. And then this is one of the last few on the shelf, so we're getting towards the end. This is my Hoya Sarawak, and I think they've changed the name of this plant as well, but I don't remember. Yeah, so I ended up getting a mug from Punta Cana, and then I stuck the Sarawak in it because it just looks so beautiful in here. And the Sarawak was like 2 leaves, I think, at one point, and now she's got these big bulbous looking leaves that are like so bubbly. Like it looks like she's like blowing a bubble of her own leaf. Like it is so cute. Ah, her leaves are so precious, and she is throwing out another growth point. So I am excited about this one. There's actually a growth point on this side here, and then right up there at the top. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but yeah, I'm really excited because I thought this one was going to die on me, and the fact that she is living her best life, giving me these very beautiful happy leaves, really makes me happy. And yeah, I'm just happy to see my plants doing good again. So this is a plant that if you like to pet your leaves, this is gonna be your best friend. This is Hoya Numeraloides. This one really didn't do anything for me for like a long time, and honestly it still doesn't do a whole lot for me, but I know that it's doing okay because it bloomed for me this past winter, and I can see this little growth spurt right here. It looks like a new leaf is coming in. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that. Where is it? Right.
Oh, she says pretty flowers, big sis.
Do you see that? I can't tell if you guys see that little nub of a leaf coming in. But I can tell that this one is growing for me. And there's quite a few new leaves on this plant since, oh, here's another little growth nubbit here. So all in all, like this one has just taken quite some time to actually feel adjusted, I think. And then with me moving multiple times, I think it just kind of, every time I went somewhere else, it had to readjust itself, but it never really died off on me, and it's always been doing really good. This one actually sits in my laundry room. So this one kind of got taken care of, because every time I would do laundry, I would like look at it, see if I could see anything going on. And of course, I would be able to notice if it was thirsty or not. So, I mean, one plant compared to like 50 other ones, this one didn't take very long to water. So I just quick watered it. But yeah, so this one has been doing really good. And yeah, Hoya Numeraloides, definitely a cute one. Okay. So for this plant in particular, I wanted to come and bring you to where this one is living currently, because it's just a little bit complicated to get it down to show you guys. So this is my Hoya Australis Brookfield. So as you can see, it still has the sulfur on its leaves, so I need to wash my hands now, but there is a new growth point right there on this plant, so it's looking really good, and it grows all the way up here. There is another little tiny nubbit on that one to continue to grow, and then it just goes all the way up here, and I have it wrapped around my two plant shelves here. So yeah, there is also a little nubbit on this side here. As you can see, overall this one is a very happy plant, and it's always kind of been happy. All I do is I just water it from here and then let it soak, and then after a little bit I would pull that cup out, and then I would dump whatever didn't get soaked up after some time. So this is kind of where I keep all of my Hoya plants. And yeah, I only have the lights up on the top on. I don't actually have the bottom lights on anymore because I just didn't want to be watering my plants as often, and it just made it easier to only have a couple lights going, and it made some of these ones that didn't need as much light grow a little bit better without being washed out. This is my really sad Hoya Wayetii. I don't know what I did to this plant. I mean, she's sad, but she's also still growing. So like, honestly, at one point I'm probably gonna just cut her down and only keep like some of her. Because like, I mean, this is like a new leaf. Yes, she is very thirsty. I know. I'm still working on it. And like these are pretty new leaves up here. So like she was trying, and here I am neglecting her again. But my Hoya Wayetii is just very, very sad, and I don't know what I did. And I don't ever seem to keep her happy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and water her. And this is my Wayetii. This is what's left of her. Every once in a while I'll look back at her, and like she has lost like an entire strand like this. Just all brown leaves. And so like honestly, I don't know how to fix her, because every time I water her and then come back and look at her again, she's dying off again. So like she's a lot more sparse than she was when you guys seen her last. And I mean, you can tell I clear her up, so it's not like I'm completely neglecting her, but I just don't know. My Wayetii looks so sad. I'll probably pop this variegated Wayetii strand into this plant, and maybe, just maybe, this one will root, and then I'll have just like a highlight. I'll have a highlight in here, and we'll see. I'm gonna do that, and hopefully something good comes out of this. So yeah, there's those two. So the last and very final plant of mine is the Hoya Dalton Henry. Now this one obviously has very sentimental value to me, and I would probably not be okay with myself if I let it die. So this one is honestly doing probably the best out of all of my Hoya. She's very full and very luscious. And every time I get new leaves, I have washed off most of these leaves so she could get the most amount of sun. So most of the splash that you are seeing on this plant here is her splash. Now on the bottom side, I kind of left the sulfur, so if you'll see on the back side of these leaves, you'll see that sulfur there. But the front side, I've tried my best to get most of that sulfur off, and overall she's just really happy and she's growing. These leaves are so like pixelated and just cool. Like I don't have another plant that looks this cool. Like I know my splash, my pubicalyx and stuff like that, they look beautiful, but just like the leaves of these ones are far more superior than my pubicalyx, and I don't know why. Like just like the splash that just doesn't come from the pubicalyx. So, and like this one, it almost just looks like there's a pixelation of the splash, and I think that has something to do with like the dimples of the leaf itself, so it kind of highlights different spots and it makes it look that way. But you guys, like I cannot get over this Dalton Henry. This is going to be the plant that my kids one day are going to want a cutting of. Like that's mama's plant. Like this is my baby, and she sits by herself. There's not a plant right next to her. I don't trust that. Like I mean I love my plants, and I think that if my plant is okay, I feel like it could go next to another plant, but I just have this feeling that if I put another plant next to her, that's when I'm gonna have some bad luck with her. So yeah, I wanted to end off this video with one of my absolute favorite Hoyas of all time, and I don't think any other Hoya could ever top this one, except for the No ID. I think that one might be my next top Hoya, alongside the Gray Ghost, because those two were my highly sought after plants, and those ones also have special meaning because one came from Russia and the other one came from my husband. So yeah, like this plant is going to be the plant that I'm going to grow as big as I can, and my kids are going to be like, Mom, this is the plant that I want to have a cutting of your plant someday. So this one has a lot of sentimental value, and it's just very special to me. So I wanted to end off on the best note possible with the best plant possible. Alrighty everybody, so this is going to be it for this Hoya collection video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know that I have lost quite a few Hoyas, and I actually watched my last Hoya collection video back in 2021 when I filmed it. I think it was 2021. No, it was 2022. I don't remember. I know that it was 2 years ago. So if you guys checked that one out and you've seen a plant on there that I did not say today, unfortunately is passed, or I have given it away, one or the other, but more likely it was a dead plant. But I'm really excited for this growing season because I really think that I will be on top of it a little bit better than I was last year. And because I won't be working as often, I'll definitely have more time to film. And I'm praying that one of these days I'm gonna get Kinsey on a schedule and I can have that quiet time to film. So if you guys stick around, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys in my next video.